What's up guys, Mitchell Watts with Town & Country TV, and today we're talking about the new Mustang GTD, and in this video we're going to give you an update to some of the things you probably didn't know about this beautiful car. We are currently at the Detroit Auto Show, and there was a special function outside of the show itself where Ford has invited us to see this car up close. Now there's a couple of things we're going to talk about in this video that we've not discussed before about the Mustang GTD. I'll give you some updates. For instance, I'll give you one, that the front gills in that front fender almost didn't happen. And I actually did not realize that, but what they realized is by adding those vents, it actually reduced the amount of lift on the front end due to the aerodynamics from anywhere from 100 to 120 pounds worth of lift is gone just because of that. But as a side note, I think it just looks amazing. So now there's a couple of other things I wanted to point out to you. Do you see those specific air vents that are where the trunk used to be? A lot of people didn't even realize those existed, but those little bumps right there, those are air inlets to allow for air into the transaxle. And as you can see, or maybe you can't see because the lighting's a little wonky, but you've actually got the transmission coolers and all the different coolers located where that trunk is. And so I think it's pretty cool there. Now there's also a couple of things I want to talk about. Oh, did you see that? You've even got a hood latch release for the trunk. How sweet is that? Now you can do that because that rear wing is affixed to that back pillar. And speaking of affixed, the aerodynamics is not necessarily fixed. It is an active aerodynamics package that you can purchase on the Mustang GTD. And when you do that, it gets you the active aerodynamics in that rear wing, but it also gives you flaps that are located underneath the front of the vehicle, close to where the wheels and the tires are. The idea there is when it's time to slam on the brakes or when it's time to take a hard corner, that active aero engages and it allows you to get that most downforce as possible. Now the other cool thing is that when you're going on the straightaway, that wing is going to open up automatically and you get a top speed of who knows right now, but it is a sweet looking vehicle. Now this is obviously a very early pre-production prototype. If I had to guess, this is probably the only one in the world that is show ready. That's a couple of the reasons why you've got those vents up there in the front are blocked off, but you can see those vents in the front are not where the tires are. The car is super aggressive. Oh yeah, and you've got that area right in there. That is also designed for extra airflow, but extra cooling for the rear end. Because as I mentioned to you, you've got a massive 5.2 liter supercharged V8 up front. You've got a carbon fiber drive shaft that goes to the back, and then you've got a transaxle, which basically is like your transmission, but it doesn't have any drive shafts after that. The transmission spits the horsepower out directly with the shafts that go directly to the wheels. And so it's quite amazing what they are doing with the technology of this. Now you've got the Akrapovic exhaust, which is the exact same exhaust system that you'll find on our 2021 Ford GT Carbon Series. It's a titanium exhaust system. It sounds amazing in the GT. I cannot imagine what it sounds like with this nasty 5.2 liter supercharged V8. As you can see, we've got the tires located here in the back. We've got the Michelin 345/30 ZR 20-inch wheels, tires rather, and they're wrapped in a magnesium set of wheels that looks absolutely fantastic. Airflow is the name of the game on this vehicle. Now, it's not as dramatic as it is on the Ford GT, but from what I understand, and I might be wrong, but from what I understand, is this vehicle is going to be racing in a different class in Le Mans. But the reason this car really even exists is Ford wanted to race at Le Mans. And since they wanted to race at Le Mans, you have to have, I think they call it a homologation car that coincides, meaning that you have to build a road-going car alongside the race car. Otherwise, they won't let you race. Well, look at what they have come out with. Look how wide those fenders are. That is amazing. That is amazing. We don't know how many cars are going to be built, but rumor mill is starting to swirl up, and they're saying somewhere around 1,000 units, which would make sense because the Ford GT, as you guys know, they made 1,350 of them over the course of just a few years. They made on average about 250 cars a year, and really, I don't see Multimatic being able to produce very many more as far as volume. Now, the cool part about this car is it actually does start life in Michigan. as a body in white. And what that basically means is that Ford is building the overall parts of the vehicle. And the reason they do that is, well, a couple of different reasons. One, well, I mean, the main reason I would say is because they're using the base chassis from this vehicle as a normal Mustang, they don't have the extra research and development needed with the crash test ratings. I mean, think about it. You've got a very similar front end. You've got a very similar V8 in a current generation Mustang. It allows them to enter this space with this vehicle with not nearly as much research and development cost, with the exception of all of the technology to modify it. This is basically like the world's most extreme aftermarket Mustang, is the way I would look at it. And to build something like this, I mean, you've got carbon fiber quarter panels, carbon fiber fenders. Basically everything on this car is carbon fiber with the exception of the door skins. Now, there's also another exception there, is that from the factory, if you don't option it up, the front bumper is going to be just a normal front bumper, but you can opt for front and rear valences that are carbon fiber as well. So this car is absolutely amazing. I'm just going to kind of walk around to the other side to kind of give you guys a look at the car itself. And I can't really show you because the windows are so dark, but I can see the interior on this vehicle. They don't want us to see the inside. That's the reason they blacked these windows out as dark as they did. But what it looks like is a dark horse on the interior. It looks like just a high end. I can see the Recaro seats. Once again, this is an extremely early pre-production model, and so you may not get Recaro seats. You might get something more extreme or less extreme. Who knows? What we do know is what this amazing car looks like. I absolutely love this car. If you can't tell that we are seriously wanting one, we have the Ford GT, the 2021. It's not a brag. We're very grateful for you guys that are watching our videos. Because you are watching our videos, we are actually able to have that car. And I'm hoping that Ford Motor Company will allow us to have this car as well, because we are truly at heart Ford fans. We love what Ford can do. We love showing it off to the world. And that's my favorite thing on the planet to do, is to show that kid that is walking through the dealership in Alabama and they see that Ford GT for the first time. And then when you say, hey, do you want to hop in it? And you see that kid's eyes light up. I mean, that is fueling the next generation for car lovers. And that is what we are all about. So anyways, to wrap up this video, what are my overall thoughts, opinions on this car? $300,000. I've heard a lot of people, that's a lot of money for a Mustang. I do not classify this as a Mustang. This is more Ford GT than it is Mustang. We'll just put it that way. The technology in this car, I actually believe that Ford is going to sell the pants off of these things. Even at the $300,000 mark, there's going to be any question that people will be buying these things left and right. My only hope and frustration is that the people that buy them don't park them in their garage and never drive them, leave them with 0 miles just to turn around and sell them later on. And by the way, Ford, if you're wanting someone that's going to actually show the car off to the world, hit your boy up. Hit your boy up. We have no intentions of ever selling the car. We just want to show off to the world what Ford Motor Company is capable of. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss a single video. Peace.